and today we will talk about sculptures.
Good day! Today we're going to talk about sculpture. The first topic that we're going to talk about sculpture are the methods of sculpture. There are four basic methods that sculptors use. It may be subtractive, where material is removed or carved out, or it may be additive, where material is added. First method is carving, second method is casting, third method is modeling, and the last method is assembling. We're going to first talk about modeling. Modeling in sculpture is the utilizing of plastic materials by hand to build a form. Modeling is said to be an additive process. The most common modeling materials include clay, plaster, and wax. Among these three, clay modeling is most easily recognized for.
We're going to use some oil-based clay. We begin by making the rock, which will be the base. We can grab an old cap or an object to use less material. With a modeling tool, we start shaping the rock. This type of tool on one side looks like a knife to model, and on the other has a wire to carve. And now, the eagle. First we do the general shape of the body. I cut some small pieces to easily give shape where it needs it. More or less like this. The beak will be here. When putting it on the base, I see it not very stable, therefore I will get in a wire. We wrap it around a little bit, like this. Good, now we give it a better form. This is so enjoyable. In this case, I will model the wings independently, and then I will stick them on. Very good. With the tool or the fingers, we continue shaping and refining. In this way, little by little, we keep giving the form, adding clay where it needs it, and taking off the excess. The spatula helps us doing flat planes. Of course, having good tools helps. However, they are not indispensable. If you don't have them, I can tell you that I have modeled before with a little stick and a paper clip. You can also make your own tools, carving them in wood, or you may buy them in art supply stores and modify them yourself if you want. We do feather by feather and stick them on the wings, one overlapping the next, more or less like this. Very good. Now, the other one. Of course, it is very important that before attaching the feathers, the wing has the correct shape. It is better to work your way up because the feathers that are on the higher part of the wing should go on top of the other ones. Now we refine the tip of the wings and the tail. Good. The feathers that are on the lower part of the wing are much longer. Here. With a finer tool, we give it texture. The list of materials is in the information below the video. The eagle is a majestic bird, symbol of dignity, freedom, and power. It's the triumph of the spirit over matter. The eagle is force that descends from the sky with the speed of lightning. Its high vision is not only a gift of making distance close. It is keen vision of eagle thought. Its place is the heights. Good. As you saw, I made its beak a little bigger. To achieve the look of the feathers on the body, we add some clay to give volume, and then we do the texture. We don't want to just draw the texture without the volume. I add a little bit to the side of the beak. Good, I like it how it is coming out. I love sculpting, it is so exciting. I don't want all the feathers to look perfect, therefore I do some imperfections. And it's ready. In the comments, please let me know if you would like some more sculpting videos or not.
Next method that we're going to talk about is casting. Sculptures that are cast are made from a material that is melted down. Usually, a metal that is then poured into a mold. The mold is then allowed to cool, thereby hardening the metal, usually bronze. Casting is said to be an additive process. There are two types of casting, namely cire perdue and bronze casting. Cire perdue is the process by which a duplicate metal sculpture is cast from an original sculpture, while bronze casting is a sculptural process of metal casting that may be used for statues, singly or in groups, reliefs, small statuettes, and figurines, as well as bronze elements to be fitted to other objects such as furniture. next method on the list is carving. It's one of the oldest types of art and an art form common to all cultures from Stone Age onwards. Carving involves cutting or chipping away a shape from a mass of stone, wood, or other hard material. Carving is said to be a subtractive process. Wood carving tools include the following.
Now we're going to talk about famous wood sculptures. Celebrated wood carvings can be seen in many of the best art museums and sculpture gardens around the world. Masterpieces include the Shigure Idol, Rotgen Peta, Mary Magdalene by Donatello, St. Wolfgang Altarpiece, High Altar of St. Mary's Church, Krakow, Holy Blood Altar, ooh, that sounds cool, the Head of St. Anne, Mary Magdalene, again, but this time by Sir Erhard, the Annunciation, Descent from the Cross, Raphael and Tobias, Altar of the Virgin, wood carving of a cravat, Motherhood, construction of volume relations, Sky Cathedral, reclining figure, and last but not least, the open geometric structure 4, or fort, or whatever. Anyway, let's move on. Now that we're done talking about wood sculptures, we're gonna move on to stone sculptures. Yes, carving stone is a way to form stone sculptures. Actually, it's the only way to form a stone sculpture. yeah, whatever. Moving on. Here are the kinds of stone to carve, ranking from softest to hardest. First, we have the soapstone. Get it? Soapstone. Soap is soft. It's yeah, whatever. We have soapstone. Next is alabaster, and then limestone, and last, the hardest stone to carve is a marble. Here are the tools that we can use. Actually, here are the tools that we need to use in order to form a stone sculpture. First, we have a mallet, used to apply force on a chisel. Next is chisels for chipping and carving of the rock. Next is rifflers, used to enhance the shape of the rock into its final form. Next, we have the sandbags. It takes out the vibration as you hit it and it prevents breakage. Last but not least, are goggles and dust masks, of course, for personal protection. Next, we're going to talk about stone sculpture process. How they make it, how they make the stone sculptures. Step by step. Well, first of all, we need tools. And of course, safety equipment. That's an absolute must. Well, like the rest of the steps. Well, yeah, you know what I mean, right? Yeah, next, we're moving on. Next is we're going to select the sculpting stone. Next step is setting up a studio. It's a place to work. Of course, you need your own base to work, you know? You need a base. So you have to set up a studio, or your own workspace, so that you can do your own sculpture. And last but not least, we're going to make the sculpture itself by using the basic techniques. When sculpting stone, one uses methods of subtraction. You need to remove material that doesn't belong. There are two ways to begin. If you have a specific subject matter in mind, then you should try to find a stone that is roughly the same shape as your intended subject. The closer the better. And the less work, less wasted stone. Yep, I think that's about it. And of course you need patience and hard work. assemblage. Assemblage is a form of three-dimensional visual art whose compositions are formed from everyday items, usually called found objects. Literally, that's it. You know, junk art, as they say. Yeah, assemblage is like that, combining everyday objects into art. You know, you found a piece of plastic bottle, 3 pieces of plastic bottle, and you put them together to form a trinity or triangle, and that is assemblage. Here are some artists known for assemblage. We have Arman, who lived for 1928 to 2007. He's a French artist, sculptor, and a painter. We have Hans Belmer, Wallace Berman, Andre Breton, John Chamberlain. And I think that's it.
Love of my life, you've hurt me. You've broken my heart, and now you leave me. Love of my life, can't you see? Bring it back, don't take it away from me, because you don't know what it means to me. Love of my life, don't leave me. You've taken my love, and now desert me. Love of my life, can't you see?
And the last topic is sculpture in 3D. Sculpture in other materials. Ooh, what do you think is that material? What? I think I heard it. Yes, light. Who said that? Yeah, never mind. I said it. Light. Yes, light. Light as sculpture. A three-dimensional piece of art that uses light bulbs, the sun, or another light source as the primary medium of expression. That is light sculpture. In light sculpture, light is the main medium of expression. It is an art form in which either sculpture produces light or light is used to create a sculpture through the manipulation of light, colors, and of course, shadows. Now, these sculptures can be temporary or permanent. It can exist in 2 distinctive spaces: indoor galleries such as museum exhibits, or outdoors at events like festivals. An example of light sculpture is the stained glass that you see in churches and mosques. Right? Do you remember when you were a child? No? If you haven't seen the stained glass, then what are you doing with your life? You have to get out there and see some of this basic art, this old, common art the churches and mosques have. They have it outside. There's colored glasses that there's art inside them, and it's beautiful when light passes through. You get it, right? Right? Yeah, you get it. Moving on. Now we have the process on how to make this medium. What your sculpture is constructed from has the greatest influence on the approach you take with lighting. From an illumination standpoint, all mediums fall into one of these 3 basic categories. Clear? Oh man, I don't know how to pronounce this, but bear with me. Clear, semi-opaque, or opaque, and opaque. I'm sorry, I failed miserably at that. I can just spell it out for you if you like. Semi-opaque. There. Second is scale. While smaller scale art pieces can be adequately lit by a light source embedded within a pedestal, larger scale pieces may require external source like the sun to get the job done right. And of course, like everything else, here there are some general rules when it comes to lighting the large scale pieces. Like everywhere else, there are rules.